it girl talk. I am so excited for this video. I feel like I don't really film just like sit down talking videos. And also, a lot of you guys have requested this type of video where I answer a bunch of questions about like different topics. Let's say like boys, relationships, periods, you know, all that jazz. So we're going to be having some really fun conversations. We have the pink curtain behind me, sitting on a beanbag. I poured some coffee into this cup, and I put this on my Instagram story the other day asking you guys to ask me questions for this video. And thank you to everyone who contributed because I screenshotted a bunch. Oh, boys, because I know there's a few guys that watch my videos, you might want to exit on this one. I mean, you can stay, of course, if you want to hear about this, but I don't know if this will float your boat. But who knows? You can stay if you want to. I hope you guys enjoy this girl talk video, and let's get into it. Let's start off with periods. Periods, everyone loves them. That's a lie. Everyone hates them. Boys, this is your second chance to leave. First question, do you remember your first ever period? I love you, Nicole. I love you too. Yeah, people have actually asked me to explain my first period story. And funny thing, I was in Italy when it happened. So I went to Italy back in 2019. This was June 2019. It was the day that we were leaving Italy. The morning that I woke up that we were going to the airport, I got my period. I went to the bathroom, I looked at my underwear, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a woman now. And then I told my mom, of course, and thankfully she had pads on her. Usually she doesn't bring them around with her, but for some reason she had them in her luggage. So then I sat in a pad during a 12-hour flight back home from Italy. Very fun, you guys. Super, super fun. Do you use pads or tampons? I'm new to womanhood. I use tampons, and I actually used tampons like the second time I got my period. So the first time I got it in Italy, and then the next month I was actually in Vegas for a dance convention. So then I was like, I don't really want to dance while wearing a pad. So then my mom was like, okay, just try a tampon. And I kid you not, it took me like 30 minutes to an hour to get a tampon in. Yeah, I just remember being in the bathroom, and then when I finally got it in, I started crying because I was so happy. But they do not hurt if you put it in right. If you put it in wrong, then it might be uncomfortable, but they shouldn't hurt when you put them in. And I just find them a lot helpful because since I'm an active person, I would just rather put in a tampon instead of dancing with a pad on. But obviously it's personal preference, and I know so many people, like so many of my friends, they've had their period, but they've always used pads. So I would just say, just use whatever you're comfortable with, but personally, I use tampons. The pain that's on periods, please explain, people. I feel like the most painful thing a part of a period is cramps, and this is different with every girl because it depends how bad they are, because I know some girls, they don't even get cramps, but then other girls, cramps could hurt so bad and you can like throw up. So it's definitely like a spectrum. Do you suffer from period cramps? If yes, then what hurts the most? Legs, stomach, etc. I do have period cramps from time to time, and let me tell you, they are not fun. I mainly get it in like my lower stomach. I don't get it where my legs are. I don't know if that's usually where period cramps are, but I get them in my lower stomach, and you guys, this is how I deal with them. I will just lay in bed until they pass because honestly, they hurt. So I just don't want to move, and I usually just sit there until they go away. But you know what's weird? I usually don't get cramps like when I'm on my period. I get them like the week before and the week after I get my period. Isn't that weird? I don't know. What do you absolutely hate about periods? I would say cramps, but I think another thing that I hate about it is when the blood stains your clothes. Because like periods, they can come out of nowhere, especially if you don't have like a regular schedule, like you get it once every month. Like some girls have an irregular schedule and they like never know when it's coming. So when you're not prepared and it gets on your clothes, it's just like the worst feeling ever. How do you deal with periods, especially during school, not online but physical ones? Okay, I would say my biggest tip for a girl that has their period is always carry a bag with you that has the toiletries that you need. So whether that's pads, panty liners, tampons, just always keep it in your bag with you. You can carry it in your backpack, your purse, just always make sure that you're stocked, because like I said, periods can come out of nowhere, and if you're not prepared, then it sucks. So every year, well obviously not this one because of quarantine, but I would always pack like a little pouch in my backpack with tampons and pads just in case it happens at school. I do remember though this one time I started and I didn't have a tampon on me. I actually just asked another girl if she had a tampon and she gave one to me. Lifesaver, oh my gosh. Which is really nice because girls around you would probably carry the toiletries that they need too. So if that ever happens and you're not prepared, then you could ask another girl too. How do you deal with mood swings? I don't get too bad mood swings when I'm on my period. I will say I get kind of annoyed more easily if I'm on it. I think the best way to deal with them is to try not to affect others, because let's say like all the people around you are in a good mood, but then like you're on your period and you're kind of annoyed. You don't want to affect the other people and make them in a bad mood as well. I try to steer away from like talking to people just in case I put them in a bad mood, if that makes sense, and just think of happier times, honestly, to make your mood go up. Was it hard to tell your mom that you started your period? No, because we were in Italy and I wasn't gonna like not tell tell her. And I told my mom basically everything. So I would say to any of you who haven't started your period yet, don't be scared to tell your mom because every girl goes through it. So don't be embarrassed or anything. Like it's a natural thing. Last question for this category. Are you comfortable talking to Christian or your dad about quote unquote girl stuff? I put this question in this category because I think they're talking about like periods and stuff. I guess yes, I'm comfortable with telling them stuff, but like I won't overshare, you know? Like I'm fine telling them I'm on my period and they're like, okay. Other times they could be like, oh, that makes sense because you're being annoying right now. But yeah, if I don't have to say anything, then I won't. But I'm pretty comfortable talking to them about like anything. Oh, but you know what is nice? They have both of them, both my dad and my brother. They've bought me like tampons before. The real MVPs right there. That was everything for periods. Moving on, let's go to boys. First question, do you like having guy friends? Yes, I think they're super cool and they're really nice to have around. Also, the dynamic change from girls to guys is so different. Because if you think about it, if I'm with my girlfriends, it's just like a different environment than being with guys. I love being around my guy friends because they're super chill and also like very caring of us, like the girls. So what do you look for in a guy? I can name so many qualities, but I'll try to name just a few. The first one is a huge one for me, which is respect. First of all, he needs to have respect for himself because if he can't respect himself, then how should I expect him to respect me? He should respect himself, he should respect me, he should respect his parents as well as my parents and just like people around him, you know? Like oh my gosh, guys who are rude and mean to other people for no apparent reason is such a turnoff. Like it's like, why are you so rude? But yeah, respectful I think is very attractive on a guy. Obviously super caring. I would also say like protective. Like when I'm with him, I want to feel like safe and protected. Loyal, trustworthy, those are good ones too. And then also supportive. Like we should be able to support each other through everything. Oh, you know what's a good one? Good communication. I feel like I'm naming a lot. Which reminds me, have you guys seen this? It's like the 5 H's. I've seen it on a TikTok video. There's like 5 H's that you should look for in a guy. It's like hygiene, hair. Yeah, he should have really good hair. Height. Sorry, but in my opinion, like my personal preference, I would like the guy to be taller than me. I think another one is hands, but like I don't really care about that. I feel like there was 5, but I can't think of the 5th one. But I think overall, he just has to be like a nice person, very sweet to me and like other people. And also, if he's just immature, like that's just a no-go for me. How to talk to your crush. Girl, I would want to know too. I know it's hard because this year it's like everything's online. But like in person, I feel like it's easier to start talking to them when you're in a group. And then like over time, eventually you could like shorten the group and just talk to him. But since everything's online, I think everyone expects to like talk to you over Snapchat and like social media, which kind of sucks because I miss like the old days when people would just like come up to you and talk. Like I think that's pretty cute. But I would say do like a little flirting, you know? Just like get to know them, be super nice and just let your personality take over. But then also if they're not like returning it back, like if they don't put effort into it but you are, just say bye, like move on to the next one. How do you know if a guy likes you? Obviously I'm not a guy, so I can't speak for them, but I will say guys, if they like you, they will take time out of their day just to talk to you. Like let's take Snapchat for example. If he responds to you pretty quickly, you know, he most likely wants to talk to you and stuff. But like if he's leaving you on like an hour delivered, I'm sorry honey to break it to you, but he probably doesn't want it. Oh, ladies, listen up to this. If he wanted to, he would. To give you an example, if he wanted to snap you, he would. If he wanted to FaceTime you, he would. But I feel like you can take a hint and you can tell if the guy just doesn't want to talk to you, then that's that, you know? I feel like their body language and then eye contact also says a big thing. Like if you constantly see them looking at you, they probably have a little crush. Next question kind of ties into the last one. How to tell if he's not into you anymore. Again with this, guys take time out of their day to talk to you. I just find that guys will put in effort if they want. Do you think the guy needs to make the first move? Yes. And like honestly, I feel kind of bad for the guy because obviously he might get rejected. Like it's either 50-50 yes or no, but I'm sorry, yes, the guy has to make the move. I feel like that's been known. And I've heard like guys like when girls make the first move because it makes it easier on them. But like girls, don't chase them, make them chase you. If a boy confessed his feelings, what should the girl do / react? Okay, well, if the girl likes him back, obviously congrats man. Like you guys can like start a relationship if you want to. But let's say the girl doesn't like him back and you don't know how to reject the boy. Girls, listen to this. Rejection hurts less than being led on and then hearing it later. Let me give you an example. We have Julie and John. That's the girl and boy in this situation. Let's say John said that he likes Julie, but Julie doesn't actually like John. But she doesn't want to hurt his feelings in the moment, so Julie says she likes him back. But in reality, she doesn't. This is bad because for the next few weeks, John will be like, oh my gosh, this girl likes me back. Like this could actually turn into something. And his feelings are going to shoot way up. But then eventually, Julie is gonna have to tell John that she doesn't like him. And this might be like weeks later. John's gonna feel like poop because he has adopted all these feelings for Julie, but then he's gonna find out that she actually doesn't like him. So let me just say again, rejection hurts less than being led on. So girls, if you don't know how to like reject a boy, I would say tell them no in the nicest way possible, of course, but also don't sugarcoat anything. Like just tell them straight up. I guess you could say, I'm sorry, I don't like you back. Like the feeling isn't mutual and I think that we would be better as friends. I feel like that's the easiest way to tell a guy that you don't like him. I think that's all I have to say for that. Shout out to Julie and John. If I like someone, should I play hard to get? Playing hard to get, it's kind of tricky because I think you should do it, but just for a little. Because playing hard to get, it's like flirty and everything, but if you do it too much to the guy, then it's gonna like steer him away and just like he's gonna get annoyed by it. So I would say do it like a little in the beginning when you're talking to your crush, but don't do it too much to the point where he's like over it. Last question for this category, how do you cope after getting rejected by someone? I would say for any boy that doesn't like you back, they do not deserve you because everything happens for a reason, and that just means that that's not the right person. It's not your time to like each other, and there are so many other boys, so many other fish in the sea that actually deserve you. So I would just say keep an open mind that there are other guys that will be in your future, and don't be too sad about this one boy. Just know that he wasn't the right one for you. Okay, that's it for boys. Let's go into relationships. Ooh, is it necessary to be in a relationship?